that he's a blithering idiot, a sack of shit, and he fabricates things.
Welcome, everybody. It's another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, Rock and Roll Matty Goldberg. Boys, what's
Is that a new guitar part?
No, I didn't have
Is that
it
a new
queued
guitar
up
part?
at the beginning as usual, so it was a later. I know. Wouldn't it be funny if I got it re-recorded with a slightly different guitar part?
Yeah.
That would be
They
awesome.
added like hot licks.
Yeah. Like you guys thought you were going crazy.
lead
Like, wait, that
guitar.
doesn't sound the same. But it sounds the same.
Yeah, it was like,
Not
is that
quite the
different?
same. No, it was just later on in the song.
Gotcha.
Guys, what's going on? We actually finally have a decent
What's
basketball game tonight.
Life is going on.
It's a good series.
It is a great series. I haven't been. I watched one game. I only watched the first game of the NHL finals, but I've been tuning in a little bit to these NBA ones. They've been fun.
Yeah. It's been good. I think game 2 kind of went how people expected. So game 3 was like, oh, what's going to happen? And it's tight. You got a tight one here.
I feel like
Tight right now, and I got my.
You got your what?
What happened?
You got your what, Maddie?
No, you go first.
Oh,
I got my money line bet.
So you have a money line on top of your, because you bet the Pacers for the series, right?
No, I have. Yeah, that's the only bet I have. I have the over tonight, which I think will hit, but I still believe in my $50 Pacers money line bet.
If you're the Pacers, do you want to be down going into the last 5 minutes of the game or last 8 minutes of the game?
No. You want to be winning all the time.
I mean, who wants to be down ever, no matter how good your fourth quarter track record
No, if you're just a fan, because I feel like the Pacers have made their mark by just these,
you're not worried. You're not as worried, but
they were down last game.
You're not as worried because you're like, this is how we play and this is what we do, but they take a 10-point lead with 4 minutes to go.
How bad do the Pacers have to be down for you to be worried?
12 with any double digit in the fourth quarter, I'm a little worried. Anything under 10, I believe that they can do it. They're magic, but this is the best team they've played, so it gets harder and harder. But for a moment, I thought they were going to have this game, but they're down by 4 and they slowed down. So I don't know if they scored yet in the second half, which is crazy. But Oklahoma City is a tough team. They're hanging in there. But I love that they feel they're never out of it. Although I do feel like game 2, they called it off a little early, but I think that's because Halliburton's ankle was giving him problems, and I think Carlisle was like, look, we're probably not going to come back twice in a row. Let's get ready for game 3.
Just live to fight another day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got to pick your battle sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I hope it goes 7.
But, I mean, it's hard. If they lose this game, they lose a lot of things. I see it with Florida and Edmonton in hockey where it looked like it was going to be a neck-and-neck series, but how good Florida is and Bob Roski is, it breaks your spirit to, lose a game like Edmonton did game 3.
Yeah, they beat
the shit
out of them.
Yeah. So I feel like if the Pacers lose tonight, it's going to break their spirit, because they're going to know how hard the hill is to climb. Then now you got to win 3 out of 4 against Oklahoma City.
Well, what would be a point if Oklahoma City's spirit got crushed?
That hasn't really happened.
Right.
They've only been down 1-0 twice. They've never been down 2-1. They've had one game 7. They coasted against Minnesota, coasted in the first round. They had a lot of trouble versus Denver. So, like, they really, besides Denver's game 7, they really haven't been like that test of tests where they had to come back maybe 3-2, 3-1. So we really haven't seen what they'll do down 2-1 here. But easier said than done.
I believe.
They're just deep. They're so deep, Jim? Because it's like.
I believe.
Who do you believe in?
I believe in just Oklahoma. I believe Oklahoma's the better.
Well,
I'm sorry, Maddie. I'm sorry.
Look, I mean, it's a long shot that I took, so I got to live with it. But we're tied up.
Wait. What was the number you got for that bet?
I got at plus 470.
I'll call that a long shot. I'll allow a long shot. Okay.
Why would that be a long shot? I think
just
Dallas
because you take an underdog, just because you take an underdog doesn't make it a long shot. But plus 4, like anything 400 or more, it's fine. It's fine.
I think last year Dallas was 280 and they lost in 5, and they weren't competitive at all last year.
Yeah, I would not have called that a long shot.
I wouldn't either, but I would call Indiana a long shot, or the odds were a long shot. I felt it should have
like
been
anything over plus 400, I'll call a long shot. That's fine.
Yeah, I took it because the odds were so good. It's like sometimes you got to say, hey, for $50, the prize is so good because I do believe in the way they play and they're magical that they can pull off this upset. It's going to be hard, but they're winning. They're up by 2 right now.
The numbers man.
72-7.
He's our own Meyer Lansky over here.
Yeah. Always crunching numbers here.
Crunching numbers. Doesn't even write them down. Just keeps them all in his head.
I can picture Maddie with one of those old school like bankers calculators where it has the paper coming out of it.
You know what I love about casino? My brother-in-law sometimes calls me Ace Rothstein. And what I love about that is like in casino, Ace Rothstein, I think was his real name, or Lefty Rosenthal was his real name.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not sure what it was.
Lefty Rosenthal was his real name.
Ace Rosenthal in the movie.
It was Ace Rothstein in the movie, Lefty Rosenthal in real life.
This dude is like, for us, he should be celebrated like, there should be a holiday because he invented the sports book. He invented all types of like spreads and like different types of bets. He invented. I mean, this guy was a fucking genius. Maybe more important than Einstein.
And he was a great juggler too.
I didn't know about that.
I know about
that. My wife actually wanted to watch that the other night, so I watched. Yeah. I go, I'll watch that movie anytime. I love that movie. It's an easy.
You can watch on YouTube. You can watch the his show, the real show.
Oh, oh wow, that's one of my favorite parts of that movie when he just decides he's going to be an entertainer.
Yeah, they're great.
No, but he juggles during one of them, and everybody's like, "Oh, don't juggle, don't juggle!"
That's
and then he starts juggling. It's just the funniest fucking shit.
But as a guy that's like, I've probably gambled on sports religiously for the last 9-10 years of my life, and I feel like it's something you can get better at. I know it sounds crazy and stupid to say, but I feel like I see games better and odds better and stuff. I know I sound like an idiot. I know, because most people are like, you never win. The house always wins.
Yeah.
But I just feel I look at games differently.
And Maddie, we all know if you start winning too much, they will shut you down on those apps. So
I know.
As long as you're able to gamble, I'm not buying it. Not buying it, pal.
Ugh. By the way, every time fucking Indiana takes a little lead, Oklahoma City comes right back.
That's the mark of a champion right there. Keeping your composure.
Yeah, they are good, man.
Keeping your composure.
You just can't like shake them.
Maddie, tell us about the Stanley Cup.
Well, I really thought this was the year Canada was going to do it, but watching Skinner play goalie yesterday against Bobrovsky, Edmonton can have as many guys that are high flyers, goal scorers, whatever. But if you don't, you got to win one game in the Stanley Cup where your goaltender stands on his fucking head. And Oilers don't got a guy like that. They just don't. Like I remember really getting into the Bruins run about 14 years ago, and Tim Thomas. There's games that the Bruins were outclassed, but he would stand on his head and will them to victory. And the Oilers don't have that. And unfortunately, Florida is such a perfect playoff team with the best goalie in hockey. And it looks like we're heading for a dynasty.
Really?
I've lost faith in the Oilers, and I said the Oilers would win in 5 or 6.
Florida's the hockey capital of the world, isn't it? Tampa's won some.
It really is.
Florida's
Tampa was a dynasty right before this.
Yeah.
And then they just shifted it to Florida.
Did you lose faith last year, Matty?
Well, they were down 3-0, so they got it to 3-3. And then they lost in game 7.
That was the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I think losing last game like 5-1. Look, next game is a must win. So they got to win game 4. They're not going to win this series down 3-1. They have to win. And when you lose 5-1 and you know that like you're having trouble scoring against this goalie and your goalie's not very good or he's average, that's a lot. I'd feel pretty defeated if I was an Oilers fan right now. And I would be pissed that you can't figure out your goaltending. Like they've had years to get a good goalie, and they haven't figured that shit out.
So
Skinner ain't the answer, man. I'm sorry.
I was at a party over the weekend, and somebody was playing this pop song, and they're like, "This is the Oilers' victory song here," and I'm like, "What?
What is it?
What is this?" And then I looked it up, and there was some legitimacy to this. It's called Pink Pony Club.
Yeah.
By Chapel Roan. Have you heard
of it?
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard this song. It's on the radio all the time.
Yeah, I don't listen to the radio, so I don't know anything.
Pony Club, I'm gonna keep on dancing down in West Hollywood.
It's real catchy. I like it now. It's one of my favorite songs now.
I hope you don't get struck. Luke, I hope you don't get struck.
Oh, 10 yeah. Seconds, well, no, 10, I
10
sung
seconds,
over
you're
it.
fine.
I kept it tight. I know we might not be able to monetize this episode now.
She's massively big.
I like her now. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. She looks like Betty Davis.
I'm more of a fan. I love Cornbread, guys.
Cornbread Red?
I love that song, but I also love the food cornbread.
When did you become a Southern man?
I don't know. I just like cornbread.
Cornbread's great.
Why did you bring that up, Maddie? What's the revel?
Because I was thinking I'm craving a piece of cornbread, and cornbread's better than that song.
No, that's a good song, Maddie. I disagree.
People love her, by the way. People love her.
They should.
She is huge.
I went in and I listened because I'd seen this kind of person around. I don't know anything about these new people. Like I don't. I'm just an old guy.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Because even I know her. I would say it's T Swift, Beyonce, Chappelle Roan.
Well, I like how you say that, by the way, Matt. I like
how was her name pronounced?
It's Chapel Roan.
Chapel Roan.
Who's the girl in Wicked? Who's the girl in Wicked?
Adina's Adina.
Ariana Grande?
Yeah, Ariana Grande is 4.
Yeah.
And then 5th, I'm going to go with Clairo. Do you know Clairo?
Yeah, I know. Clairo? Yeah, Clairo. Yeah, I know her. Yeah. Some of the young people I work with tell me about these people, and I go look them up. I'm like, okay, not as bad as I thought.
Do you know that Clairo's father used to be my boss?
Where?
Her dad used to run Converse sneakers and Coca-Cola.
Fired your ass?
What's that?
Fired your ass?
He didn't fire me. The ad agency did. He was always awesome to me. But,
imagine being an artist and then having an ad agency dad who knows how to market the shit out of you, you know?
Who ran Coca-Cola. And I remember one day we're in Florida and he was talking by the pool because he also used to work for Starbucks. No, he used to work for Coca-Cola. And he goes, this is what he said. He's like, so in the office, all morning, everybody's drinking Starbucks. So I send a message to somebody's like, we need to buy Starbucks. Like, these motherfuckers think. And they're like, that's a great idea, but I don't think we can. But I just remember that.
We need to buy this company everybody loves.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, but he was the head of Coca-Cola for a while too. I mean, but you know, God, this is 16 years ago or something. So it's wild to see that, like, all of a sudden, like a few years ago, I follow him on Instagram and he's like, my daughter's a singer. And next thing I know, like, all these other people are posting her stuff. And I'm like, she's a big deal.
Yeah, isn't that crazy how that works? Also, it's like there's a lot of these nepo babies and making music nowadays
But you
too.
know what? You got talent, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just
I'm gonna give you an example of a nepo baby who deserves it.
mhm.
Uh, Noah Eagle, Iron Eagle's son. I think he's very good. Jim, what do you
Sure.
think?
I
Good
agree.
call.
I do like Noah Eagle.
Luke,
I like Noah Eagle.
and he's a young guy. His father's been kicking around for 30 years, working his way up. His father's fantastic too. But
Yeah,
both of them are great. And like he's not getting his stuff be like sure he got in the business because his dad, but like he can back it up.
sure. Sure. Well, it's just like he can literally just imitate his dad and have a job because nobody goes like when you're growing up, you don't like want to be the straight guy on a broadcast team. You know, no one's
True.
like
Yeah.
unless Ian's like, listen, son, you wanna be rich real easily, just just do
Yeah.
what I do. You
Well,
know.
one guy I always found really boring was Kenny Albert, and his
Okay.
father is fucking, for even aside from the crotchless panties and the biting women, his father is a legend. His father is just great at what he did, and Kenny Albert to me was always kind of boring, and that was his son. And Kenny Albert's doing the NHL finals.
Oh, is he? Like, I'm not even familiar with Kenny Albert. It's funny.
Yeah. Oh, he does the NFL. He's been doing a
Maybe
lot.
I've
I mean,
seen
he's
him.
been
Yeah,
doing it for
maybe I've just been around, like heard his shit and not put two
he
and two
was
together.
with, if you remember, like Goose, when Saragusa and
Yeah.
Moose Johnson, and he
Uh-huh.
was the play-by-play guy
Oh,
in
okay.
the NFL.
Wow. It's funny how unremarkable he is that I've completely
Exactly.
blocked him
He's
from
very
my brain.
unremarkable. Exactly. He's very unmemorable. He's not terrible, but he doesn't have like the the, the gift that Noah Eagle has. This
So
game is frustrating the fuck out of me.
well, they're not gonna pull away, Maddie. I think it's just coming down to the wire. That's what you gotta live with
I
here.
know, but
Okay.
I don't know.
The Knicks, New York Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau a little
Yes.
while ago. Now they're looking for a new coach, and they're like literally trying to poach someone from a team,
I
and they've been
know it's
denied
crazy.
permission to talk to Jason Kidd,
I love it.
Chris
I love
Finch,
it.
and Ime Udoka. This means
I
just
love it.
Mike Malone is just going there. That's all I hear out of this.
Our
Like, who's the
Doc
one?
Rivers.
Oh God, no, you can't. That's like,
Well, that they are talking to him.
oh,
That's the one guy that will get permission too.
Doc Rivers should like pay a royalty to Kevin Garnett.
I
And,
know.
I mean, he's
Paul
made a whole
Pierce.
career from coaching that Boston team to one
Yeah.
victory. That was like the first
Where
super
they were
team.
good enough to be a dynasty.
Yeah, really just like,
Yeah,
oh,
the Knicks are gonna realize like, okay, you fired your guy. You're saying he can't get you to the next step, but like, did you have a plan? Did you have a guy that's gonna be better? I mean, but I don't know if the players liked him, and the NBA is such a players' league, and again, it's like, if you bring in Karl Anthony Towns and he underachieves, somebody's got to take the blame, and it's not going to be him. So it's going to be the coach, and that's what happens. But you got to have a plan, I would think.
yeah, you would hope.
And
I mean, I would try to find somebody if these are the only names. Like you, there's no names out there except for Michael
yeah,
Malone,
no,
and I don't
Jay
know.
Wright,
and just
baby.
thinking like,
Why do you keep
well, he
bringing
turned
that
it
up? You
down.
think he would
That's-
actually go to the pros?
Oh
He
no,
turned it
no,
down. He'd be great, but
just because they had
he
so
turned
many
it
like
down. But
Villanova players.
Oh, right.
the
That's
thing
funny.
about it too is like the idea that when you fire a guy like that and you go, well, what are we going to get? They go, well, we'll just ask to talk to guys and take somebody.
Yeah.
It's not going to work that way, and it hasn't.
Yeah, you can always find some guy on somebody's bench. There's always some guy that's hungry out there.
Yeah.
Looking to come
That's
up.
what's probably going to happen.
Look at the Boston Celtics last two coaches. Yeah.
And I knew Phil Jackson because I'm Mr. Name Drop tonight. I went to school with his kids because he was the coach of the Albany Platoons of the CBA. And the Bulls hired him as an assistant. So nobody knew he was going to be the great coach he was. He was hired as an assistant. He sat with Doug Collins for a year or two. He got the job, and then the rest is history. But every once in a while, you can hire an assistant. And like even Van Gundy never won a championship, but he was like one of those assistants that hung around for a long time and got his chance.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think you're going to poach somebody.
No, unless you're like it was a great coach on a team that didn't have much talent and they just wanted to ship somebody off to get some picks or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
But
you might be able to get Doc Rivers.
I don't know where that it would be,
You might be able to get Doc Rivers.
Ugh.
So it's like, well, we're not going to give you this guy. It's like if you trade for baseball cards. You're like, I'll trade you for your Ken Griffey. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to give you Ken Griffey Jr., but I have Carney Lansford. Who?
Oh man.
Jim doesn't know who these guys are.
Did you guys see this video of DeMarcus Cousins?
Yeah, he went fucking nuts, huh?
Yeah, so he's playing in Puerto Rico as one does, which is weird. I didn't know he was still playing at all. He's playing in Puerto Rico, and we all know what happened to Bruiser Brody in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
But the crowd was against DeMarcus Cousins, and he gets into an altercation with a fan and walks right up to him and starts grabbing his dick. Like, hey, look at this big dick here. And then everyone starts throwing shit at him, and then he's trying to fight, and they're pulling him off. And now he's suspended for the rest of the season. Like,
that's why I love the show Eastbound and Down, because the season they had in Mexico, and like they could have easily, like, you're like, that show is so unrealistic, but shit like this does happen where a washed up athlete is like 35, goes to a different country, and then you see some crazy ass video where they lose their shit. And I don't know what to say. I don't know if we'll be back in that league.
What do you think this guy's playing for now? He's definitely not going to get back in the league.
Money.
Just stay in Puerto Rico.
Money. I mean, he's probably making $2-3 million a year.
Puerto Rico is we own Puerto Rico. He can stay there as long as he wants.
I mean, if you're look, he's probably 36 or 37.
Yeah.
So if you're that age and you can make $3 or $4 million, why not play there? I mean, he'll probably go to another country.
Puerto Rico?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I don't know if he's making that kind of money.
He's got to be making at least $1 million.
So when he last played in 2017, and he was on the Warriors in 2017, made basically $17 million. I don't know. I don't know if
I bet you he's making a couple mil.
It's not publicly available. I really.
Well, if you love playing, you go where you can play, right? I mean, some people.
I mean, if you love playing, but I feel like this guy, if he really loved playing, would have produced a lot better in the NBA.
Yeah. The max salary, Matty. Is he considered an import?
Okay. Yes, of course. He's from America.
Max salary is $125,000.
All right, I'm seeing here that he recently signed a $50,000 contract with Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's in.
No, that's Mexico.
That's Mexico.
Well, then I don't know because that's not very good money.
No, there's. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the most he's making is $125,000.
Right. And now he's not even. Yeah, I think you're just playing just to. I don't know, just like.
I mean, $125,000 is like he's living comfortable.
Dude, he's probably. He probably had made like $100 million in the league. You know, you don't even have to be
at all. You think he gambled at all?
I don't know.
These
Could be
guys
a
go
huge
through their money
degenerate.
like crazy. But if you still love playing, you play where you can play, right?
I guess. I mean, I don't know if he really loved playing to begin with. I don't.
I mean, the weather's probably gorgeous. He probably lives on the beach. You
Yeah, I
go,
mean, there
you live on the
good-looking
beach.
women there
You
and
play
stuff too.
basketball. You probably dominate. He's still probably one of the best players, even at his age. He's just always been kind of like, a head case. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a commercial for Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh, people are
when's it
making
back?
out.
Jim's gonna watch. This is gonna be the year he watches.
Monday, July 7th.
Fuck yeah! Less than a month, baby.
Oh, baby.
Now we know what we're gonna be covering this summer.
I was seeing an
Now that
article.
Dark Side of the Ring is dead.
I had an article pop
Yeah,
up
I
of
know.
the 5 teams that Kevin Durant is reportedly possible getting traded to.
What is
Well,
it,
who
Jim?
cares?
Okay,
I'm
I'm gonna name these 5 teams, and I want your reaction if he did get traded to this team. Number 5 is the New York
Okay.
Knicks.
Who?
Okay.
I think it'd be great if they could do it without losing any of the problem with trading for a big person is what do you have to give up for it?
You
Yes.
get rid of good players.
Durant, they might not want much because they might just want to move on from the contract, see what they can get, maybe
Yeah.
some draft picks or something, young players. But they
It
might
says
have to-
potentially they could just swap Cat for KD.
Okay, if they
They're
want.
already done with Cat after 1 year.
Would you rather take Cat or KD?
Neither.
That's fair. Number 4 is the Miami Heat.
I don't think that makes sense for the Heat because I don't think they're in a position that's going to put them over the top or anything.
KD's got to be like, all right, keep going.
Number 3 is the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I mean,
Good spot.
if you could get a sniper with, Anthony Edwards, that would be huge.
That actually would be pretty nice.
And he could probably play. He could probably be really productive for another couple of years too. Again,
I think Minnesota's a great fit because he doesn't have to be the number 1 guy.
No.
And if he wants to teach Anthony Edwards how to be a winner and how to close these games out, he probably could. If he wanted to be like sort of a mentor of how
you just have to let
be
Anthony Edwards drive
like
and
a
then kick out to
superstar
you, and then you're
champion.
going to score. That's it. Easy.
Number 2, Houston Rockets.
So it's a great spot.
Houston needs.
That's a good
some
spot
vets.
too because they're a young team.
Yeah.
They were very green, and they could use vets to help with the young guys. Just teach them.
Who
It's
would they
more
move
of.
for-
It's
who would
also
they
a
move
thing
for
of
Durant?
like, we're bringing you in here to teach these guys
Yeah.
if he wants to. Some guys don't like it.
Number 1, the San Antonio Spurs.
Celtics number 1.
The Spurs.
They're far away.
Well, I think they're going
Not
to go
a fan.
all.
Not a fan of Wemby. Not a fan of that.
I think they're trying to win now though, so this might be like a couple year play, because they got the number 2 pick this year. They had the Rookie of the Year last year, so they might be able to move these guys and round out the roster a little more too. They still have Stephon Castle, Chris Paul's probably who knows how much longer he's got in the tank.
Is Chris Paul still playing? Or
He's
he retired yet?
No, he's been with the Spurs.
He's still playing.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the best spot are the T-Wolves. Yeah.
I'll go with that.
I wouldn't mind the Spurs either.
Yeah, Houston's good. But again, it's a thing where it's like we're also bringing you in here to teach these guys how to win. And I don't know if he's that type of guy that wants to like be that type of guy that like teaches guys.
Well, I don't know if he has to be. I think he just has to be, his presence, not getting rattled, being poised in big moments. I would say I think he does put Houston over the top if he goes. Probably Minnesota too. Those are the 2 where I think he can realistically win at least next year. Maybe the Spurs in a couple years. They
What
probably
about
have
the
to make some other
Lakers?
moves. What's that?
The Lakers?
I don't know. The Lakers just need like a big man.
Yeah, Lakers need a big man. They need more depth too. I don't know if Durant solves many issues for them.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same
Well,
issue they
everybody's
have
trying
right
to
now.
develop a big three. You're trying to develop a big three. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but these days it's more like a big two and then a bunch
And
of
if you
really
go to
good
the
role
Mavs are
players.
right back in it. You add him. You have AD. You have uh, KD, and then you're gonna get Cooper Flag.
Right. But I don't know. The only people I think that could actually land him, well, that would still be good, that have the assets, are probably the Spurs and the Rockets, where they wouldn't have to give up a major contributor. They could probably give up draft picks and maybe some good player, but who knows? I don't know. I haven't done the actual math on it.
What about Cecil Fielder playing on the Golden State Warriors?
The fuck you talking about?
That was a prank call to Mike Francesa one time.
Oh,
Yeah. This guy's like, "What do you think of so and so on the Knicks?" And then all of a sudden he goes, "What do you think about Cecil Fielder on the Warriors?" And Mike's face was just amazing.
so the NCAA has settled with the athletes, and now the colleges can pay the players directly. So this ushers in a whole other
Nice.
new era, as opposed to the name,
Oh
image,
boy.
likeness. These people are now can draw a salary from the college
This
itself.
is
Jim, what are
great
they
for the
saying about it?
Wolverines, though.
What was that, Maddie?
It's great for the Wolverines.
It's great for like a lot of the big teams. There's still a lot up in the air. I know there is a pool. So I think it's like each, what was it? Several college athletes filed appeal Wednesday.
Is this going to ruin college sports?
No,
No,
I mean no more than like NIL has already sort of done it. This just kind of is. It
I
puts
mean,
a
'cause,
lot
like,
of.
let's say if you're,
I think
let's
it
say you're,
helps the transfer
okay.
portal. I think it does help the transfer portal. I think,
But let's say you're,
but it
let's
like
say you're a
the
baseball
schools the
fan and
schools
you
get like a
hated
pool of money to divvy out to all the sports. Like you get them. There is a max. They can't just
yeah.
pay
But my
unlimited
point is
money
this: so there's a salary cap. It's capped.
for all sports. It's for all sports. So like you
You know,
pay a percentage for the football
my
players. You pay a
brother-in-law,
percentage for that.
he's from North Carolina. He went to UNC, so his family's all UNC. And he told me they're pissed at Belichick, not just for the Jordan Hudson shit, but that they're taking money from the basketball team, which is a basketball school first and always was, is now going to football. And a lot of people are mad about that, which is crazy. I mean, these are the realities of the situation of today's college sports. But I guess there is like a cap, but if there is no cap, I would just imagine like Michigan, Florida, Ohio State, Duke in basketball, Notre Dame in football, like USC, like it's always going to be the same 6 teams every year.
Well, Maddie, it's the schools get the same amount to pay.
I know that, but I'm saying if there wasn't, I don't know. I think it would be the end of college sports.
well, no. Here, the difference though is actually going to be the NIL. So I think the school payments will be capped out. What they say, like 20 mil or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it's like 20 mil per school.
Right.
And that's
So
to
that's
divvy
going to be
up
capped
for
out. So
everything.
then the NIL is what's going to make the difference.
Yep.
So these kids like so now Bryce Underwood, who just came into Michigan under all that NIL money,
Yeah.
can now get a contract with the actual school itself and draw a couple more million a year too on that.
Well,
Like
it's
these
also
players will
what you
probably
can
make way more from NIL than they actually will from the school.
And what you can do, like Tom Brady did in the NFL, you can take less money from your school,
Sure.
make more NIL money, so they can buy more resources.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And
'cause
Although
now-
if I'm 18, I'm grabbing as much money as I possibly
I
can.
do think this is probably a win for like the smaller sports at these schools too.
By the way, I'm seeing an ad for the biggest thing Saturday night. What's Saturday night, Jim?
It's the UFL championship game, Maddie.
and Michigan's going to win again.
Oh, the Panthers, baby. Panthers defenders. We get a new champion no matter what.
Yeah.
The Panthers are the king of spring football, going back 40 some odd years, 1983.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they won was it the inaugural season?
Yeah, Bobby Hebert was the quarterback, and who was the star wide receiver?
Anthony Carter.
That's right, a Michigan
AC.
alumni.
I went to one of those games, and my dad got mad because I had to pee before the last second field goal. I was
How dare you?
5 or 6.
We gotta wear our men's diapers, buddy.
I'm so excited, Maddie. I'm so excited for the game. That's literally all I've been thinking about for the last 3 or 4 days.
Are you gonna be streaming?
I'm gonna be there at the game.
Jim, what's been the state of the league this year? How's viewership? What's going on?
I have a lot of takes. I'm gonna save most of my takes for after the season as a whole. But it's been up and down. They tried experimenting with Friday Night Football on Fox. It bottomed out at 600,000. Mm-hmm. Not fantastic. It got up as high as 800,000. That's kind of the range it was in. ABC always gets the most viewership, is what I've been finding. ESPN's been decent. You have to take the games that are on Fox and ABC a little bit differently than the games that are on ESPN and FS1, just because obviously
next
those are
year
the big
they
ones.
will go right after the Super Bowl.
So that's my thing, Maddie, is I don't like the start time. They waited till the very, very last week of March this year, basically.
So dumb.
And I don't like that for two things. People will say if you go right after the Super Bowl, you have to go up against March Madness, which is true. But guess what? They went up against the Elite Eight this year. Didn't do great. And then you still have to go up against the NBA Finals, the NHL Finals, all happening at the same time. Well, so no matter what, you're going to have to go up against events. My whole thing is if you start early, in February after the Super Bowl, my preferred time.
Get a head start. That's
Get a head start because guess what? After the Super Bowl, until the actual March Madness tournament begins, conference tournaments start, but nothing is going on. You are the only game in town.
And people want football. They're still that first Sunday is depressing and there's nothing on. They'll watch it.
I was someone came onto my show one of these weeks and gave me a take, and I kind of like it. So he wants week 1 to be the weekend of the Pro Bowl, the week after the NFC AFC championship games.
I like that too.
So
absolutely,
yes, you do week 1, the week of the Pro Bowl, because you could go up against the Pro Bowl. Who cares?
Sure, or you could just stagger it.
Or stagger it. Yeah. Or stagger it, and then Super Bowl weekend, instead of playing on the Sunday, you play all of your games on Friday and Saturday. Maybe do a triple header Saturday, and then after the Super Bowl, you could do normal.
I got another idea. If they got Vince McMahon to do the commercials,
you're already killed, Maddie. They can't.
He goes, and our quarterbacks don't wear panties. I mean, you'll get fucking NFL Monday Night Football ratings.
But and the marketing side and the league side as a whole, the teams were amazing. The games were awesome. The players were awesome. But the league side, something felt very off this year. Yes. On the way they marketed, on the online vibes, on the stuff. Something felt very off.
Was The Rock involved this year?
Almost non-existent.
Huh. What do you think's going on?
They fucked up, and they got to go back to you got to do it. You got to get a head start because you have no shot once March Madness, once the NHL and the NBA is coming down the stretch, you're fucked. You got to at least get a little head start and get people to get used to some of these guys. Hope to have some good early games at the beginning of the year so people get into it because once that's over, you're in trouble, man.
The other thing that really sucks about going this late into the year is markets like Memphis and Birmingham and Houston. You get almost no one at the games this late just because it's so hot out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
it's fucking I don't know if I could be in Houston and go to a game that's 100 degrees.
No,
and the humidity. It's in St. Louis, Maddie. It's in St. Louis.
I'm about to scream because I'm thinking that the Pacers are getting hosed on some of these fucking calls and it's driving me nuts.
The championship is once again in St. Louis. I think next year they move it to a different venue. There's also the rumor that they might be adding 2 new teams for next year, so that would be hype. It's gonna be a very important offseason.
It really is. This next year is make or break, in my opinion.
Year 3 is a big one.
I mean, do you know anything about their finances? Like what they need to sustain?
That's probably something someone might be doing and looking up. It looks like the viewership is good enough that they're gonna because Fox is like a half owner of the league.
Right.
I think as long as they're getting enough viewership to be, it makes sense to put this here in this time slot.
Can I use an analogy of what spring football seems to me? I don't know if you've ever
I also, sorry, Maddie, before you get into it, before you do it, I also want them to ditch the sort of minor league sort of advertise. They're trying to market themselves as we're a league of opportunity. We're trying to get watch these guys, root for them to make the NFL. I think you need to obviously that's what you could be. And you could promote
full marketing people.
100. You could promote guys getting to the NFL. That's something you can show and whatnot, and be like, hey, look at these players that were in our league that are now succeeding in the NFL. Sure. I don't think you market the league that way. I think you market the league as its standalone league, as something different.
Well, it'd be fun to I wish I was in advertising, because I would come up with some ideas. But the way I see spring football, fortunately, throughout my whole life, I don't know if you've ever lived in a town where there's a building where there's a restaurant, and every year
it's a different restaurant. Yep.
And the next guy's this is a great location, and it's all about the food. Our food is great, so this is going to survive. And they're out in a year and a new owner, and they have all this optimism.
Hey, year 3 is happening. It has been confirmed. Year 3 is in the books, so it will be the first spring football, I think, in the modern era to make it to year 3.
All right.
Because for some reason, as much as this country, we love football. We love football. We can't figure out a spring football. It just hasn't hit.
Maddie, the killer for me is I still believe to this day, if COVID never happened, that we're on season 5 or season 6 of the XFL.
Well, you're you're an optimist.
Well, 2020 was special, dude. Those 5 weeks, 2020 was hidden. It was special.
I watched both leagues, and that was a time too where there wasn't a lot of sports, and I was into it, and there was 2 leagues going. So
no, 2020, Maddie, 2020. There was only the XFL.
Well, I'm talking about what was the AFL, or they stopped it.
The AAF in 2019.
Okay,
shit show.
That shit show made it 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks maybe, and then folded. The XFL in 2020 was standalone, and it was beautiful, and PJ Walker was all over, and Josh Johnson was all over, and it was awesome. Landry Jones,
the greatest. Yep. Oklahoma.
All right.
Great. Cardale Jones.
Yep. The Ohio State.
You guys see this story from this Red Sox rookie, Hunter Dobbins?
Yeah.
So apparently he claimed his dad had been drafted by the Yankees, and his dad was also friends with Andy Pettit. Mm-hmm. And now people are doing some digging. They're like, no, that's all completely false. Your dad was never drafted by the Yankees, and he's not friends with Andy Pettit.
Well, he said something stupid that even as a Red Sox fan, he said basically I'd rather play on I'd retire if I got drafted by the Yankees. It's the fuck you would.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is these guys are they're in the major leagues. There's pride of your team, but if you're on the Red Sox or you're on the Yankees and you're fortunate enough to be on either team, your life is pretty fucking good.
Right.
But he put his foot in his mouth for sure. But
why would you make up lies that are so easily researchable?
Well, I think it was a weird thing where he kind of had to back off why he said that he would never play on the Yankees, and people were like, "Okay, why are you saying that? It's stupid." Because of course you would.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. He's like, well, I didn't fact check my dad. This is just based off of stuff. So he's throwing his dad under the bus for this shit.
He's what, 24, 25, right?
Oh, he's a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
kids say dumb shit,
Yeah,
and
he's
I know
25,
what he's trying to do is he wants to like feed into the Red Sox Yankees rivalry, but
right.
baseball's different. These guys are all like happy to be in the major leagues. They're, when the playoffs they get really competitive, but for the most part, like as Seinfeld always said, you're rooting for laundry. Like this is
Yeah.
not,
He wears a
you're in
different
the major
jersey and
league.
you're rooting against him. What's up
Exactly.
with that?
I mean,
I got one
yeah.
more story here. The Canadian soccer team, the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Oh, my favorite team.
Yeah, right. They are claiming the coach is mad. He claims all the players were poisoned during a cup final trip to Mexico.
Ooh.
Like food poisoning?
Yeah,
or,
like food poisoning. And they're saying like this is like 2 years in a row. They're for the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Whatever
See,
the
you know
fuck
how
that
like
is.
these coaches, like when they play against the Patriots, they're always like, when we play there, we say nothing in the locker room, we do all this. Like, I'd be so paranoid, I would have my shit catered.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I mean, it's Mexico too. It might not even be intentionally.
I know,
Stomach just
and
might
we're
not
not
be ready
yeah.
for it.
Like if I wasn't used to the food there, I'd probably be shitting my pants for
Oh
like
yeah,
a
all
week.
you need is like a cup of tap water and you're fucked.
Exactly.
Like, but this also said that they also said this happened.
But get
The
catered,
Columbus
man.
team from Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe there's something to this. I'd love it if this thing actually came out
Yeah.
and it was true.
These are the stories of the dog days of summer.
Yes, they
A
are. We're
Canadian
almost
team
there.
getting yeah.
Like
A Canadian MLS team.
Well, I
Josh
stayed in a
Allen.
hotel across from their stadium. That's why I kind of know this team when I was visiting game.
Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld adopted a dog. Thoughts, Jim?
What kind of dog?
I'm just making it
Maddie,
up.
that's what I was going to lead next week's show with. God
Exactly.
damn it. Now I got to
The
do.
sports
Oh,
dog.
Aaron Rodgers is married.
Yeah, he
That's
got
right.
married.
But we don't know who to. Who's dating that weird surfer girl.
Yeah, I think
Aaron
I think it's
Rodgers-
them. I think it's her.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
they
I
just
think Aaron
got
Rodgers
married.
people are tired of him. He's kind of like he got so exhausting. Like the Aaron Rod, like when he used to go on like Pat McAfee, it was like must see. Now it's like, oh, this guy again. He's fucking annoying. Go away. I mean, he lost his luster.
How will the Steelers make the playoffs this year?
They'll go 9-8, 8-9. I'm not like this. I'm not really like loving him. I also like I don't know how dedicated he is since he hasn't even showed up.
He's
Like,
there. He's there.
Okay.
Yeah, he's there. He's ready to rock.
All right. Wow, what a dunk. Yo, Pacers are up by 7 with 4 minutes to go. I'm getting a chubby.
All right. Well, show it to the camera, Maddie. Let's see what you're.
Okay. After when the show's over, I'll show you the 7 3/4 behind the balls.
Wow. All right. All right. Well, that's all I got. You guys got anything else to contribute before we get out of here?
You guys.
I talked all my UFL. I had the championship's gonna be awesome. I'm always excited.
You guys want it? You know, it'd be a fun thing to watch. We could cover. I loved it.
What?
It's called Chiefsaholic. It's on Amazon Prime. It's a documentary about the super fan of the Chiefs that robs banks.
Oh yeah. I remember that story. Yeah, let's cover that for next week. What's it called?
Chiefsaholic? You guys will love it. It's wild.
Yeah, let's cover that next week. Jim, do you have Amazon Prime?
I do. I will be able to.
Jim,
right.
you'll love it. It's a lot about.
Oh, Maddie,
poor
I know
girl's
about,
gonna
I know
be
about
like
Chiefsaholic.
on the mend, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, honey, let's watch Chiefsaholic."
Oh, you know what? Your wife will love it because it's more it's not really about sports.
Oh,
It's
okay.
more about fanaticism. Like there's not a lot.
I love
of
that. I
sports.
love that shit. I love like learning about and digging into what makes like a super fan.
And it's more about true crime. It's about the internet. It's about wanting to be famous. It's perfect. Like your wife will not get bored at all. She'll love it. Trust me. There's very little sports. It's more about the idea of being famous for being a nobody, and the
Right.
drive of being famous, and
Well, that sounds good to me. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week for another exciting edition of the Sports Hole.
Go Pacers!